Welcome ladies and germs, and in this episode, or is that going to be a full breakdown, we have a giant e-bike battery, lithium-ion, 36 volts. As you can see, I've already been inside this. I've removed the clips. Let's see if that does anything. Showing full. Let's try and measure the output voltage. I think that's positive and that's negative. 41 volts. That appears to be full. The complaint from the owner of this battery is that it's lost its range. It used to have about 30 miles, now it's down to about 5. No kilometers here, don't do metric. Now that we've got Brexit done, we're going back to inches and thous as well. Let's have a look inside, see what we're dealing with. What's that stuck on? So we have the output connector. It's probably a fuse. A fuse which doesn't want to come out. And we have this strange wavy configuration of cells. I think it's written on there 10 times 4, which is 40 cells. And a massive BMS. Charging fuse probably seems to be intact. That's how these red cells. I've had a quick look, that don't seem to have any markings on them, but they don't look damaged at all. No water damage, no corrosion. I believe this pack is about 10 years old, so it's probably or possibly had its day. I asked the owner what wattage motor, it's a tongue twister, what wattage motor he had, and he didn't know. So I assume it's about 250 watts. I think it's a front hub motor. I have half a mind to do a discharge test on this before proceeding. I'm going to connect the battery to my load resistor, my ammeter there. So I'm going to aim for about 6 amps. So 40 volts, 6 amps, maybe 240 watts. Ready for a crack. Seven amps is a bit too much. Let's make some adjustments. I've seen 6.8 amp, 6.7. It's 16:11 on the clock. Let's see how long that lasts for. That'll give me an indication of its capacity. That's 24 minutes into the discharge test, and I've added the voltmeter as well and hung this up so we can see it properly. It's still on 6 amps, it's dropped to 35 volts. That's been running for 1 hour exactly, and it's still going. It's down to what, 5.8 amps, 33 volts. Nothing much wrong with this pack. If I can get that in shot here. There's that Twist Energy 36 volts 8 amp hour Sanyo cells. been running at an average of 6 amps for an hour. So by my maths, so by my arithmetic, that is an average of about 6 amp hours so far. I wouldn't expect it to cut out until this voltage hits about 30 volts or less. Quick, while the voltage is dropping like a stone. It's gone down to 4.5 amp, 25 volts. I'll let it run and see if it cuts off at any point. And that's been 1 hour and 5 minutes to get to that point. The pack is just about warm, I think. 35-40 degrees C. I think that pack voltage is now getting dangerously low. It doesn't look like the BMS is going to stop at any time. So I think I'll disconnect the load there. Ooh, look at that. Look at that voltage gone down to 0. It's only gone down to 0 after I disconnect the load. That's odd. I think I'll leave the pack to recover for about half an hour to an hour. Let it cool down slightly and then try charging it. So what do we have as capacity values? Average of 6 amps for 1 hour, 6 amp hour. It's not bad if it's a 10-year-old battery. I think that's certainly usable. I'm just wondering if the owner has some other issue with his bike. Maybe the brakes are on constantly or something like that. Now I've got a horrible feeling that this won't charge up again with the original charger. See, the output voltage is still on 0, but I'll try it. Now this is what you call a charger. Look at the size of that thing. It's as big as the battery. What's the writing on it? 41.5 volts, nearly 3 amp. I plug that charger into the mains. There's no indication at the moment. It's a charge LED on it, unlit. This has got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin. 5-pin XLR connector. Get the right way around. Ooh! Yeah, it charges. And the voltage comes straight up. Thank God for that. I thought I'd broken the battery. Phew. And that's taken about 3 hours to charge. Green lights on charger says full, 41 volts. I'm not going to do any more work on this battery at the moment. I think I'll have a word with the owner first, because of the discharge test I performed. I've calculated that the capacity is about 6.5 amp hour compared to 8 amp hours when new. They're not always even 8 amp hours when new. So I would say it's lost about 20% of its capacity. It's not bad if it's 10 years old. That's in conflict with what the customer said, that it's lost about 80% of its range. So something doesn't add up there somewhere. Now it's possible that I could resell this with higher capacity cells. What would I get in there? 3,300. That is if they were available, but there's a worldwide shortage at the moment, so everywhere's out of stock. So yeah, if I had 3,003s, what would that give me? Something about 12.5 amp hour capacity, which would be a 50% increase on this when new. Or it's about double the capacity it's got at the moment, about 6.5 amp hour. But if the customer says it's only going 5 miles, then doubling the capacity would only give them 10 miles. So yeah, things to ask and things to think about. And in conclusion, I'll have a word with the owner and leave the battery like that. If that's been useful or just plain annoying, let me know. Leave me thumbs down, thumbs up. Leave a comment, and leave a kebab.